Hey VFX, this is Izzy Moreno, and you're watching Count.
What is up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. Joining me is Big Mike.
What's up, guys?
And I'm sure that guy Tommy will be here in a few minutes whenever he pops in.
It's like a local wrestling show. He'll be late.
He'll be late
because
for
it's
sure.
Tommy.
So, today we're going to talk about everything that went down at AEW Revolution. We'll preview what is going to happen, what potentially could happen this Friday at TNA Sacrifice, aka the pay-per-view anniversary of Steiner Math promo. But first, we're going to catch up with somebody that hasn't been seen around the San Antonio scene for a while, but is still very much a big part of professional wrestling. He's been known as the Centerfold, the Monster Hunter, the
Anarchist, we're pretty sure.
Yeah, for sure. He's got a lot of stories to tell. And we're going to talk about him being on a TV game show very recently, because I got a lot of questions. So, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Palmer.
Hey guys,
What's up?
Wow.
what's up?
This is kind of a big thrill for Mike and myself, and I'm sure Tommy when he joins, because you have been one of my favorites on the independent wrestling scene for such a long time. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. First off, how have you been? It's been a long time since you've been in San Antonio. I can't even count how many years. I don't even know if you know at this point. So
I don't know much, to tell you the truth. It's been a minute though. It's been a minute. I'm good. I'm really good. I just getting old. You know, I just get. It's been I want to say it's probably 8 years since I've been to San Antonio, something like that. I went to Austin a few months ago and got into a fight with the promoter.
Oh,
but that's as
fun.
far south as I've got.
That's all part of promoting and wrestling, right? So, yeah.
That's half the fun. Now that I'm a promoter myself, I can do that. It's okay.
Yeah, there you go.
It's okay.
Yeah. What is more stressful, all the travel or being a promoter?
Travel.
Yeah.
It's like I've never had to complain about my back hurting while being a promoter. But if I've had a flight, no matter or a long drive, I want to quit. Like I can't tell you guys those hours before you see me where I'm driving, I'm contemplating retiring. I was like, F this. I am so sick of this part of my life. The drive is the worst part. I'll go and fight somebody all day. Like they can kick the crap out of me all day. But if I have to drive 20 minutes down the road, I'm done. I'm done, guys.
I can't imagine how your back was feeling after that brutal match you had with Masada some years ago in Austin at ACW.
You know what? Yeah. I still remember to this day. We all stayed the night at Darren and Rachel's house. I slept in an airbag, an air mattress across from Robert Evans. And I woke up the next day and everyone was sore and I was giggling and laughing because I didn't feel a thing. I was shit, what was I, like 24, 25 years old? You know, immortal. And so like I got up and like I was like, I feel great. I was messaging Briggs, he's like, how you feeling? He goes, I feel like shit, go fuck yourself. And I'm like, this is fantastic. Now, just to offset that, a few months ago, I had a regular ass match, 6 minutes, no big deal. I was dying. I had to give me an asthma inhaler in the back, and I was like on the ground, like Jesus Christ, save me.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say the morning of that Masada match, you woke up feeling good. How did you feel good? How did you feel after the match?
Well, that's what I mean. The next day.
I thought it was that morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. The day of, I was nervous out of my mind.
Oh, okay.
Because everyone would be like, everyone's like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, we don't technically know yet. We knew there was a scaffold involved.
Yeah.
But we didn't really know what that meant or what that would look like until we got there. And then I had to help set it up. So like if I didn't show up early just to show up because I was nervous, I don't know what the match would have been.
Yeah, I remember leading up to that because the ACW took like a month in between shows and they promoted this heavily. This was a big, huge feud. I think Masada had the hardcore title for 2 years at that point.
Yeah.
And they announced a scaffold match, and in my head, I'm like, how the hell are they going to do this? Because the only scaffold match I had seen was TNA, where AJ Styles took that
Yeah.
bump off, you know,
Earl,
and
NWA, and Crockett.
yeah,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
So
really, like the way they had, or Darren had wanted it set up is like, if I remember correctly, a scaffold match is like it doesn't end when somebody gets thrown off the scaffold, right?
usually they
That's
Wasn't
kick
it.
that
off
like
the
kind of
scaffold.
the rule?
I think so.
So
Yeah.
he said like just have a hardcore match that happens to have a scaffold because he's like we want you to get
Ringside.
thrown off as much as possible. And I go, what the fuck?
Night-
I thought they told me, oh, you're winning. Going, oh, I don't have to fall off the scaffold then. Hell yeah, this is awesome. On second thought, could you get powerbombed? It'd be
You
great.
know,
You're still
the-
winning.
one of the
walk.
and I hate to say this because you took the bump as part of this. One of the things I remember about that, Masada always wrestled with a very serious look on his face.
Yeah.
It was very often that he would like break from that, and I think the one time before that he did is you as the centerfold, you would do your drop down, but with the pose, and he stopped like, what the hell is he doing? And then after he threw you off the scaffold and that, he literally just let like a woo, like he was like pumped, like you never see that from Masada, you know.
So
Yeah,
I don't. I not sure why Masada is feared amongst a lot of those guys.
yeah,
For some reason, he just took a shine to me.
yeah.
And so, like, we had a match one time, and it was your typical, like, all the vets are coming over to be the greenhorn kid going, be careful, he's going to fuck you up, and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, no big deal. What's up, Tommy? Haven't seen you in
man?
forever.
I know,
Yeah.
man. That's why I was so mad.
We're talking about Masada beating me up. But liking me at
ACW
the same
scaffold
time.
match. If you remember that one,
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I was gonna say which time, but okay.
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah, right. All the times.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the first time where I met him and everyone was telling me he was going to rough me up.
They
And he
weren't
didn't.
lying.
He was a sweetheart of a guy. He was like, oh, look, and not to toot my own horn, but like, he's probably like, oh, look, a competent young wrestler. They keep giving me these other greenhorns where I have
Yeah.
to murder.
That's
And then he's
okay,
like, oh,
that's
this
fair.
one can stand on his feet after he misses a drop kick or something like that. Like, he's not done for the night. So, you know, and so like he kind of liked me, and I also kind of got the rub from Scott Summers, who was very much like a big brother, and they were like best friends. So he was very much like a, you know, he's a scrawny kid, but he's got the idea, he's got the spirit. So like they took me under their wing, and so like anytime they roughed me up, you guys hear that?
Oh,
I think
JC, Tommy, who's that?
I think that's JC. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
No worries. Anytime after that, he'd always like, you know, he'd rough me up, but it was always in the spirit of brotherly teaching. So
Right.
yeah, anyway.
And how much of that whole storyline at ACW was like? Was it just all you guys putting that together? Was
It was all me.
Aaron or something?
It was all me.
Really?
So
so
what
cool.
had happened is due to the nature of it, it was very loose. If you got any storytelling at all, because like half the time you couldn't remember because they're like 9-hour shows and you didn't see them for a month apart. How are you gonna remember all that? So what had happened is Masada had to leave for a large portion of that time. I want to say he was gone for about 8 months. Where we couldn't do this angle, but we wanted a year-long angle. We wanted me losing the belt at this big show in January to me winning his belt in January the next year. But he couldn't be there for a large portion of it, so I had to come up with a reason why I would go after him and all this kind of nonsense. So that was all me. That was just, we show up that day, we ask him going like, what do you got? Most of the time it'd be like, we got nothing. What do you got? I'd be like, let me just pull something out of my ass. And then here's the story this month. You know what I mean? And it slowly just became, for me, it just became, you know, former theater kid, it became easier just to tell a story of man versus self than man versus man without the other man there. So I just slowly became crazy and wanting to be Masada. I started dressing like him and doing all this stuff simply because I was like, if anything, one of the things I'm really good at is a quick change. When I was in theater, I want to be able to change from Masada to the centerfold and have this brand new gear, which I did to a big pop.
Yeah.
It's like, if this match sucks, at least I'll have that. At least I'll have that. So yeah, anyway, that's the Masada stuff. And I didn't hurt at all the next day, and now I hurt every day.
Right.
It was delayed pain. That's what happened.
Yeah,
Yes,
maybe that.
yes.
Or it's a testament to how safe Masada is in the ring, despite all the
No.
crazy bumps. No.
No, it was just the youth.
Just the youth, yeah. So
It was me being 20 something. That's what that was.
Yeah.
No, he's a sweetheart. He's a pros pro.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories with ACW. I mentioned before we got on the fireworks. I don't know what was going on in Austin. You said it was Matt Fitch. I think you were wrestling, right, in a tournament match or something.
It was November, so I have no clue why there were fireworks.
It's Austin. Who knows?
Yeah.
It was that Lone Star Classic tournament, and it was the second round. And I remember I didn't even like the move I put him down with. I was like upset with. Like, there's fireworks going off in this like organic moment. I'm looking at them, going, "Oh yeah, look at them!" And all I can think of to myself is like, "Why did I give him a headlock takeover?" That's it's like I literally gave him a headlock takeover, going, "Stay there." And I looked over to that area, and I just hoped to God there'd be fireworks, because if not, I would just be standing there, dick in hand, just like.
They had been popping, and like it was kind of distracting from the match, and it kind of worked. You just stay there, soak it all in, let the fireworks thing, let everyone get distracted, and then back to the match. It was perfect.
Can you imagine if I was smart enough to hit like a Rana or a drop kick?
Yeah, you know,
anything that wasn't just a hey, do a roll and lay down.
Death Valley Driver.
Okay, be honest. You slipped a random pyro. You slipped a random pyro guy like 100. Say, hey, throw some fireworks around this time. You know, I'm gonna.
That's all it costs. $100.
I don't know. Who
These
knows?
indie shows are really selling the short, guys.
Inflation now, right?
I heard you say ex-theater kid, and so much about that I know about you has made sense immediately the second I figured that out.
Yeah.
Like,
I was a literal stage actor, being paid stage actor before I ever became a wrestler. And it was
so much about you just made sense.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to describe how much I understand you now.
I only ever joined theater simply because I'm an extremely introverted and shy person, kind of bordering on the lines of agoraphobic. And so I'm not comfortable in a lot of large spaces still to this day. So I became a theater kid to get over a bit of my stammer and my introvertedness. And I basically just kind of masked myself until I got really good at it. And then I became, pretty decent actor. I basically just played a bunch of Gaston-like characters. So it's really good at being arrogant. Yeah. And then, one day I was managing a Wendy's at one point, and I went to a PCW show in Arlington, and they had a advertisement for, become a wrestler. And I was like, shit, that was the whole point of joining theater, was that I can get over all this stuff so that I could get into the ring. It's why I started lifting weights at 13. It's why I joined theater in high school. It's why I lived in the back of a box truck out of a hammock that we made out of Luan while we traveled down in Houston, Texas. It's like we lived the same life that wrestlers lived, but we were trying to memorize Shakespeare. And I had a full ride to go to a couple of schools. I'm trying to remember there's one in Chicago and another Northwestern.
Wow.
For acting, and I just couldn't do it for personal reasons. And so later just became a wrestler, and now, as you can see, I chose poorly. I should have been
talking about throwing off scaffolds and taking bumps and back hurting, and why didn't I go to Northwestern? God damn it, So
I'm just sitting here going, I could have memorized it.
I imagine midway as you're jumping off the scaffold, I could have been an actor.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just sitting there going, like, two households, both alike of dignity and fair value. I still remember.
On your 8+ hour car rides.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting here and I'm singing Disney songs, and all I can think of is like, Masada wants to do the skewers tonight, right?
Yeah, son of a bitch.
Oh, great.
Nastico's in the chat.
Oh, great.
What's up, Nastico?
Yeah.
Let's go get somebody he wants to poach for his stable. But anyway.
Probably.
No.
Just beware of this guy.
Yeah, he's the worst.
So how did you watch wrestling growing up? Was that kind of what was the plan? Yeah. Who were some of your favorites?
It was all I had. My absolute favorite of all time, we're not allowed to mention it, Chris Benoit. Got it.
Yeah.
But my first ever childhood hero, this is the paladin to me. This was everyone's Hulk Hogan, was Bret Hart. To me, Bret Hart could do no wrong. Bret Hart wouldn't smoke weed. Bret Hart wouldn't cheat on his wife. Bret Hart wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
As we read his book, obviously.
Yeah.
But he was my absolute favorite. I loved Bret Hart. And I started watching wrestling when I was about 3 or 4. I didn't have a great childhood. We won't have to go into that. So wrestling was a beacon of hope, of course. And so from then on, that was my main thing. It's like, if you needed to punish me for school, take away SmackDown this week. And we lived out in the country, and we didn't have floors. If that gives you a little bit insight to my life,
Wow.
we literally walked over the plumbing.
Oh man,
If you
I
get
can't
if you get an
imagine.
yeah, so I didn't have cable, is what I'm saying. We didn't have Raw. I never watched a Raw or anything like that until I was in my 20s. I lived and I learned how to read by Wrestling Insider and PWI magazines. And then I would watch Saturday morning wrestling was all I have until SmackDown came on when I was like 13 or something like that. So that's what I watched. And so I bought all the Coliseum home videos. I would go to Suncoast and get all the videos I could. My mom had to set it up with it wasn't Blockbuster, it was like a BJ's video or something like that. Terrible name. Video. Where they had to set it up to where I was able to rent R-rated movies because they categorized the wrestling with R-rated movies. So guys, get this. I fucking love Goodfellas at 6 years old.
I'm out of cold.
Yes. So yeah, they let me rent all those movies, and I totally snuck in Terminator 2 and Dust Till Dawn and all that kind of stuff too.
Nice.
So
Child's
anyway,
Play, all
we'll
this
get
fun
back
stuff.
on topic.
Yeah,
Hey, Raina.
Raina Pink.
Love it.
Yeah, skip my homework for the
Yeah.
centerfold, man. She
Oh,
must be a
don't do
fan.
that. If you do that, you'll turn out just like me.
Yeah. So it's just wild with the childhood you had. You still Pro Wrestling Illustrated still found its way to you one way or another, so that's pretty cool. That magazine still around and stuff like that. So.
I didn't want to read. I was a dumb little kid. And I did not want to read. And my mom was like, "You got to read something. You got to learn how to read." So it gave me that.
All right. So PCW is where your wrestling school is. Any memories of training? How that went for you? And
they're all mean. I don't like any of them. Lance Hoyt was my trainer, my head trainer. He also helped train Athena, which is where we met. But Robert Evans and Wally Darkman were also trainers there. Wally was closer to my size, so Wally probably helped me the most physically. But as far as taken under his wing, Robert was probably my mentor. So Lance showed me a few things, but him being 6'7", 300 pounds, what the hell is he going to teach Frodo Baggins over here?
Yeah.
So Wally helped out a ton, but Wally was also kind of suffering from back issues at the time. So Robert kind of swooped in. He's who I had my first match with. He's my first tag partner. Probably had my first true storyline with. He was also the one who met me at the doorway in tears after the Masada match on the scaffold because this is a very closed off guy. He just told me, he's like, "I'm so proud of you," because I think it's like his first true protege, his first true trainee.
Wow.
And so I owe just about everything to those three guys.
I think you had the same trainer as Angela Armstrong, formerly Angel Bloom, now Angela Armstrong, right?
She was in my class. She was there maybe a month or so ahead of me, but she was a kid. I was I think I was 19 when I started, and she was like 15, so she couldn't get on the show no matter what.
Right.
So she had to wait. So like we were in the same class, and as of now, I think we're the last two.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Some time ago, we're the last two.
Yeah.
I can't get her to quit.
We had her on shortly after. I had her on shortly after she had the surgery years ago during COVID. I did interview, and then she retired, and now I think she just celebrated 1,000 days of sobriety. So congrats to Angela.
Yeah, 1,000
Hell
days.
yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That said, you enjoy that sobriety.
Shout out real quick to everyone in the chat. Thanks for being there, guys.
Yes,
hey guys.
If you got a question for Matthew Palmer, either it's the Centerfold days, the Anarchist days, the Monster Hunter, or what he's getting into now, which kind of leads me to what you are doing now. You're a board event promoter. Obviously, you're heavily involved with Metroplex Wrestling. Is that really kind of your company, or is it?
That's mine. Yep,
that's
yours.
Me.
Yeah. So we bought that with another. So by we, I mean Athena and I bought that with another family, the Pruitts, who are basically the front row fans. What you smoking on? Nastico, I'm not allowed to mention it because I'm still in Texas. So, but I got it from Oklahoma.
That's fair.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. What was I talking about? Oh, so we bought MPX from Stephen Kirby, and so we decided to kind of put a little paint on it and run it like a black box theater. But we've just been taking these 3 years, which is how long the lease was, to just kind of learn how to be promoters. You know, we've never done this. We've always had to show up and be entitled little diva wrestlers. You know, like, I'm not going under today. And then like I have to look now I'm spending thousands of dollars with my head in my hands at some guy I'm paying like $100 is going like, I don't want to put over this guy in this fake fight. And I'm just like, I want to kill all you. I get it. Yeah. I was like, I've never related to Darren Childs more in my life. I apologize for everything. I'm so sorry.
I hope you're watching this, Darren, wherever you are. Yeah, I really do.
Darren, I know you probably won't accept it, but I'm sorry. I purposely have my eyes down away from the camera to simulate how I should apologize. Hat in hand. So yeah, it's difficult, but we've taken these 3 years, and I think we've done pretty good with it. We followed the same formula Kirby had set up because it's a weekly show, which is what I learned from PCW, but that's not a normal thing. As you guys who are normal fans of wrestling on indies, you have a month at least to promote. Mm-hmm. I have 5 days. Because I take Sundays off because half the time I've wrestled on the show or somewhere else, and I'm just sore. And Athena's wrestled as well, and she's coming back from a long flight, and like we just don't have time, or we just don't have the graphics. And so it's like while it's silly, it's like, can you name someone who isn't a billionaire that's doing the same thing? So we learned rather quickly what to do, and then Sami Callihan has been helping me immensely. You want to talk about just like a big brother came out of nowhere with Revolver and just be like, yeah, we'll help you. Whatever you need. You need help with graphics? You want to learn how to negotiate with people? You want to learn how to do this? Yeah, absolutely. You want to talk to promoters? It's great. The guy's been the most wonderful person in the world to help me with this. But those 3 years are coming up. MPX needs to grow. We're probably going to stay in this building maybe another year, maybe not. I'm still waiting out. We still got a little bit of time, but I'm tired of being small time. I want to grow. If I'm doing this weekly and I got to be here anyway, I want to fit 500 plus people in here every week. I want booze. I want a jukebox in the corner if I have to. I want sawdust on the ground and peanuts in every seat. Mm-hmm. You know, so you come in going, hell yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's watch some wrestling. I'm thirsty as shit. And I'm over here with a, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's what I want now, rather than just be like, can I handle this little low time weekly wrestling show? And I'm like, nah, screw this. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So that's MPX now. We have a big show this weekend, Destiny. I'll go ahead and make my plugs. We're on Twitch and we're on YouTube. It's Metroplex Wrestling. I'm not going to write it out for you. If you want to buy tickets, and watch us in Bedford at 510 Harwood Road in Bedford, Texas, it's at mpxwrestling.com.
I can pop
if
this
not,
graphic
you can just watch it on the stream. There you go. Yeah. I'm wrestling in a God Who Booked This match.
Official title.
Yeah, I have to. Tommy Becker and I have to fight 4 other teams. I don't know why. I feel like I must have like chipped somebody's car in the parking lot or something.
I feel like the promoter has it out for you.
Yeah. Well, he's a real son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're having that. Yeah, we're having Kari Wright and Demo Diamond and Exodus Prime battling for our championship. We have a lot of fun stuff. We got Reza Clark versus Shay Carmichael for the women's title. Good stuff happening. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I always feel bad that I can't make it to more of your shows because every time I see the card, I'm like, damn it, that's a damn.
It's every week, man. Every
it's on Twitch.
Hell.
Yeah.
It's Tommy, you're going to be there. Brick's on the show.
You gotta be here.
I
Man.
can't summon Brick
How
Savage.
can you not be here?
You seriously, Tommy?
I don't summon Brick Savage. I can't. It's impossible. I cannot summon Brick Savage.
I took bumps on concrete for you.
Oh.
You were there.
That point not amazingly withstanding.
I stood up after them and looked you in the eyes and be like, "What's my name?" Because I was concussed, and then I still went in there and finished the match.
Wait, didn't that really?
Yeah, that really happened. Yes. I am not a liar.
Oh my God,
Tommy, I am not a. I'm extravagant and wild, but I am not a liar.
Oh my God, I completely forgot that happened. You're right. I thought you were messing with me.
Yeah,
oh
anyway,
my God.
so I'll see you Saturday. I see.
Probably see you on Twitch.
And buy tickets
I'll
at
be watching on Twitch. Yeah.
Also, Tommy, his wife is in one of the best pictures you've ever taken in the history of ever.
Yeah, you've ever taken. And what do you mean you took pictures of my wife?
No, she was in the picture.
Oh my God!
Oh, no, he was.
First of all, way before y'all were married.
Way before.
I think that's clear. That. Secondly, it's only because Sean Vex, may he rest in peace, was a dick. And for the record, I love Sean Vex. Will always love Sean Vex. He was a dick.
That's why we loved him.
I'll have to let Tommy explain the story because there's words in there that we can't say. I think he's going to allow.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if you ever saw this picture, but it's when Sean went heel, and because he was heel, me and him decided like let's just make this fun for us too. I brought a sign that said, "Vex, use a bitch ass nigga." So. Fast forward, I think this was Guilty by Association, but I can't remember which one. And the night before was BLW in San Antonio, and he saw me and he said, "Oh, are you going to be at ACW tomorrow?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay, good. I got something for you." I was like, "Shit!" And I was like, my first thought was, "What did I do?" And then the sign flashed, and I was like, "Oh, maybe it was the sign." So he comes out for his match, and like his music plays, everything. He's carrying a poster board, and I immediately said, "He didn't." He unfolds a sign and it says, "Tommy is a bitch ass nigga." And I've never heard the ACW crowd louder than that. And so fast forward to where your wife comes in. So we're taking pictures with the sign, right? Because Sean came down, he had the sign, people were taking pictures with it. And out of nowhere, Athena runs down in her bathrobe still and says, "Wait, don't put it up yet." And like jumps in front of it to take a picture with it. And I was like, first of all, you could have waited until you finished changing clothes. It wasn't going anywhere. Secondly, who told you this was happening?
She couldn't have. I can tell you why, because I was probably pressuring her to hurry the fuck up so we can drive home. Because we had work at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
I think at that point we were doing some sort of government job. And so we had to show up the next day. That's why we were always so mad about those 9-hour shows.
Nofstate posted.
Yeah, because you didn't get out of Austin until midnight. That's like a 4-hour drive to Dallas, right?
Dude,
so
these assholes put a belt on me, so I had to go on later.
I never thought about it like that.
So I mentioned that because I wanted Tommy. You'll probably get a good kick out of this one because it's behind the scenes at ACW. The title I lost, the heavyweight title I lost at Guilty by Association to Davey Vega, and the hardcore title that I had won from Masada, when I lost it to Barrett Brown, neither one had known they were winning. I just lost just because I wanted to. Well, okay, so let me specify that. They had no plan for the hardcore title, and I had gone on to hold the belt longer than Masada at this point, and who held it for like 2 years. And we're like, come on, guys, I'm 150 pounds. It was the underdog story that it pays off when I win it, but I shouldn't hold it that long. Come on, there's some monsters here. Let's beat me. Nah, man, you're great. You're over. They just didn't know what the fuck to do. And so when Barrett locked me in a hold, he locked me in a crossface. I just kind of leaned over and said, "Congratulations," and I tapped out. So 2 years.
I'm dying to know what Darren said when you got backstage after that, though.
Well, they were going over their match, I think, and I just and I was kind of like loosely in the office at this point. Like I was trying to help become a writer, but like they're all terrible ideas, so nobody took them. So I wasn't a writer.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of came in the back, going like, "Hey, I just tapped out," you know. But he didn't say anything negative because I think he was behind on paying me for like 3 or 4 shows, so he just kind of let it happen, which is also may have been why I did it at the time too.
Yeah.
So a couple years prior, though, we had known that I was losing the heavyweight title to Davey Vega. However, I had begged and pleaded them not to tell Davey Vega. And so the submission squad, who he ran with still to this day, decided they also agreed that they should not tell Davey Vega.
They all knew.
Everyone knew, dude.
That is awesome.
Everyone knew. And so at one point, because I didn't want them to think that I was trying to screw him over and not drop this belt, right? I was like, fair's fair. It's just a prop. Who gives a shit, right?
Yeah.
But also like, let's have some fun with our friend who is about to get this this feel good moment, and let's see if we get a genuine reaction. So he hits me with this move, this I think air raid crash, and I'm supposed to kick out, and we go over some bullshit spot that I feigned that I remembered, and he hits it on me, and he's like set up, posted like he's ready for me to kick out, like he's trying to be as light as possible. And I kind of lean in, like kind of do a half a sit up, and I lean into his ear as I reach over and grab him. And I go, "Congratulations, champ!" And I just hold on real tight. And he goes, "What? 3?" And he looks straight up at the submission squad, who are they're a little bit higher in the air. At the commentary, and they're like, you can see Pierre Abernathy. They're like,
You know what? Once again, you just off the core memory, because I specifically remember him being surprised, him looking surprised.
Because
I thought he was selling it.
That's
really
because he was
awesome.
That's fantastic.
I was like, this is going to be a good.
If I can share the screen, JC, I can. I found the picture.
You found the picture? Do you know how to share it?
Yeah.
So
my wife in her robe. Let's see it. Let's see it. Give me your address too.
Yeah, there's no sign in this picture.
Yeah, it's just what's this Motel 6?
Oh,
damn.
What the fuck?
Look at
Tommy's, yep. I remember that Snuggie.
Yep.
Oh, she was fully dressed. She was just cold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
That makes sense.
Amazing.
Oh, greatness.
Yeah, so that's some of the memories I still remember from ACW. I don't remember much else because Scott Summer made sure of that.
Well, I think he did that for a lot of people. One of my memories I have of you specifically, aside from was the I Quit match.
Oh yeah,
with Evans, because when you pulled out the gasoline, I legitimately was like, okay, when was murder allowed? I don't remember that being part of the I Quit.
So I looked at that, like, and you're walking there with the fire, and he says, I quit. And I half expected you just in the middle of celebration just to throw the lighter just like this, and then still get set on fire anyway. That would have been hilarious. Obviously, we can't do that, wrestling, but I know, but in a weird way, it would have been one of those comical things. Obviously,
if this was a movie, that would be a hilarious.
Exactly. So,
yeah. So okay, here's the backstory on that. We knew that we wanted cinematic. Robert Evans is at that. Like I said, he's my mentor. So any wild ideas of theatrical stuff that I have probably stem from something he would do. Mm-hmm. Can't remember who came up with it. I want to say it sounds more like me because I was trying to do that Christian Bale American Psycho gimmick that every pretty boy gimmick does at one point. So I don't remember how we came up with the murder, but the gasoline was real.
I think
we could smell it from the top. Yeah, I remember that.
But it was water poured on him.
Okay.
But inside the bag was an exposed large cookie sheet filled with gasoline so that you could smell it. Because I said, I'm not gonna risk hurting my friend, which I still did by putting a giant gallon of gasoline in the middle of the ring. As an idiot. And then but I don't want these guys to feel like this is fake. I want them to feel like this kind of is an underground Fight Club-esque kind of thing. Maybe this fake fighting is a little too much. You know what I mean? Which is always something I wanted to do because, like, how else are you going to make them feel like this is real in that moment? You're going to get punched in the jaw 6 feet away and make them believe it? Yeah, that's pretty good, but it also fucking hurts. Or we can try this. And we tried this, and it went off perfect. But here's the thing. And this is 20-something-year-old me being a fucking idiot, didn't think of. I'm standing over the bag as he says, I quit, after I duct taped his mouth as the attempted murder charge was about to happen. The bag full of gasoline with the lighter. Sorry, the match in my hand. He says, I quit. And then the good Lord must have just knew, and the wind blew and knocked out the fire in the match.
Ooh,
As
thank
I'm
God.
standing over a gallon or so of gasoline. I can't stress this enough, guys. I'm not that tall. I'm not that much taller over this. So yeah. For those that don't know, I duct taped him upside down. I held a knife to his genitals and to his heart and threatened like I was going to stab him.
You had an axe back then.
Yeah,
too.
but we couldn't use it because once again, my dumb ass is like, let's use an axe like American Psycho. And then after months of doing it, some fan called me out and be like, okay, but use it.
Yeah.
And I go,
Sounds like awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I had to just I'm not going to bring this out anymore. So like,
Yeah.
do I have any memories of RCW? Yeah, I got a few. I remember wrestling Sammy Guevara all the time. Which is is kind of my feather in the hat for a guy who never made it. So I like to always see Sammy at the AEW shows, and he's he's a lovable guy, and we always hug, and he'll put me over. But I remember those days that Hot Stuff Hernandez would purposely bring me in and be like, you need to work with this kid. He doesn't get it. He's got talent, but he doesn't get it. He's blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then I'd wrestle him, and we'd get to the back, and I'd look around, and I'd lean in at Sammy going, hey, man, you're great. You got to get out of here. I don't think they get it. So he was awesome. The only thing that a couple of years later, he got a little too arrogant in his promos and decided that heat was heat, and he was going to do whatever he could to get famous.
Yeah, a little too much. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I get it. As somebody who also has pushed that envelope, hopefully you aren't a sociopath and you feel some remorse for that. So like, I loved the kid. RCW was fun because I got to work with Sammy. And like I just knew same thing I knew when I wrestled Austin Theory. You just knew it's like this is it. The second I tied up with him was the same way I felt the second I tied up with Austin Theory in a scrambled match. It's like he's signed. You look at him, good looking guy, good build, but the second you felt him as a wrestler, I don't know if I can equate this with anything other than maybe dancing. It's like you pair up with somebody for the first time and you're like, yep, that one. And I felt like that with him. I felt like that with Jake Christ. I felt like that with Austin Theory. You know what I mean? And so like that was my best point at RCW. I also remember having some sort of impromptu 4-way cage match that we had to call on the fly. And let me tell you, that was awful. We had a referee who had like a fake canary like sewn into his beard. And first of all, I
think I remember that.
I know you're talking about.
I don't know why we have referees with gimmicks to begin with. It's already hard enough trying to get wrestlers to have gimmicks. And so like he's already outshining us. And then he's also trying to tell us like, take it home. Take it home. This sucks. Let's take it home. And we're like, we don't know who's winning.
They just booked it randomly on the fly. You had to jump in there.
Yeah, it's like that shit would happen all the time. Anyway, that's my time for the RCW.
Yeah, I just remember your debut there, and all the instructions they gave you was just get over. And you're like, I hope somebody out there knows who I am. And as soon as your music hit, we're like, hell yeah, centerfold. It was nuts. It was crazy. Yeah. So yeah. Which, by the way, that soccer club venue where you debuted is now a trampoline park, an indoor trampoline park. Just like
good, probably makes more money.
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah, probably.
Expensive to hell to have a kid.
The parking lot's always full.
So, dude, those things are anyway.
When we did this, I tried to look for it, but I do not know. It must be my parents' house somewhere. I still have that DVD that you made, the very first one you made of you.
The best of.
I couldn't find it.
Here's my best of out of my 25 matches.
And I was looking for it. I was like, damn it, where did I put that? So I got to look for it. If I look for it, I'll post it.
I'll tell you what it is. It's going to be me versus ACH in ACH's hairy job of the century. And then it's going to be me versus Masada, but probably not the scaffold match. Because Darren probably wouldn't give it to me.
I think that was before the scaffold match ever happened.
Maybe. And then it was a bunch of filler. It's like whatever else I had available.
Making your own merch, man. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it, right? So yeah.
It was a DVD. I had to make my own DVD cover, if that tells you how old
when burning DVDs started to become a thing,
Yeah.
Everyone was putting those out. I remember that.
I had to get my own laser disc printer. The times are hard, guys. I'm telling you.
Man. Yeah.
Now, aside from MPX, you're also involved with Wrestling Revolver,
Yes.
which goes everywhere. And for those that don't know, like if you just watched AEW this past weekend on Triller, now it's on Amazon Prime, but Triller TV carries a lot of these events as well. And you got one coming up in a couple of weeks against Rich Swann,
Yeah,
unsanctioned
this was
street
just
fight.
announced today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in Iowa.
Yeah.
How
Iowa.
did-
I've somehow become super over it in Des Moines, Iowa.
Really?
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, like I'll show up
awesome.
at Dayton, and then the crowd will be like, "Is that? Oh yeah, that's him. Boo!"
Yeah.
But I show up in Iowa, and they're like, they still love me from the Monster Hunter stuff, or they're getting on board with hating me for this current incarnation, just like
Yeah.
instantly. So for some reason, Dayton, poor eyesight, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, you mentioned Revolvers traveling around everywhere, and like this one's going to be March 22nd in Des Moines. I think they got one April 5th in Chicago. They got one April 12th in Richmond, Virginia. Mid-May, I want to say the 17th, they're going back to Dayton, and they're going back to Iowa in June. We're probably I'm going to try to set up some of the Texas dates probably sometime in summer. I had some business currently with the Epic where we were hosting our Texas shows, but they had a construction issue, and so that got pushed back. But we have a Texas title in the works for Revolver, and
Nice.
so we're hoping. This is my personal fantasy, but it's probably not going to work out right now, was to create MPX as a Revolver South so that there could be a weekly wrestling show that had Revolver with a Texas thing. But the hope was very ambitious. It was to also incorporate other shows as well, to have a true Texas thing.
Yeah.
But as you know, everyone with their own pride wants to tell their own little story in front of 200 people. And so that became harder to do, but we still have a Texas title. We're trying to expand just Revolver itself. He wants to go into Austin, which we will be looking into, maybe even San Antonio. And so that's probably going to be happening before the end of 2025 with Revolver.
Hey, we'll keep an eye on that. You know the fans are crazy down here in San Antonio because
Yeah. Like some of my favorite wrestling has been in Central Texas, San Antonio. I don't even know if I guess call you guys Central Texas, but like San Antonio and Austin are some of my favorite cities to this day to wrestle in. Like I'll be wrestling in Des Moines and we'll have 1,500 people just getting up and chanting my name, and it's great. And then I'll go and I'll wrestle in front of 300 in San Antonio, and it feels like old times. It feels just as good as all those other people. I don't know. It's just maybe it's just nostalgia, but it feels fun to me. But it's been 8 years since I've been back.
Yeah.
Miss having you down here. So people wondering how this interview came about. I had never seen The Floor, which is a TV show. I mentioned that you've been on it on this show before.
Mm-hmm.
And after the Super Bowl, my wife, the kids were sitting there like they keep promoting the Super Bowl. Stay tuned for the season premiere of The Floor. I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. And it's pretty novel concept. I'd never seen it. You mentioned on the show that you're a big fan of it. Pretty much there's 100 squares. Everyone is like an expert in a certain category. They pick someone, you're challenging somebody next to you, and you're trying to control the whole floor. You're trying to win all this money from it.
Mm-hmm.
And midway through the episode, I was like, my wife and I were like, is that Matthew Palmer? What is he like doing there? And I won't spoil. I haven't seen today's episode, so I don't want any spoilers on who wins or whatever. But you got.
It's not me.
It's not you. But I was waiting to see. Oh, his expert category has to be pro wrestling, and it was classic cars. And I was like, yeah. So hold on. I don't know if you want to explain that, but yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Listen to this shit. So
best way to start a story.
So I get on simply. Okay, it's there's not shit. Somehow I lucked into this entire thing. I get on because Kid Cadet Heather, I want to say Riker, is just got hired as a casting director for Fox. She is married or engaged to a guy named Jude who runs FSCW in Florida. And that's where we do our little cosplay wrestling where I get to dress up and work with celebrities. It's a lot of fun stuff. So she goes and she pulls from this cast of group of characters. She's got like Darren Corbin, she's got myself, and I think she's got a few others. they ask, hey, what are your categories? And I go, of course, wrestling, because of that, whatever. But also medieval history, medieval geography, and I know a little bit about South Park because Athena has it on every goddamn day. And so those are my categories, and they accepted them, saying, hey, this will be one of your categories. During my flight there, which was in Ireland, they film in Dublin for whatever reason.
Wow.
They do want to tell you it's in Hollywood, and I'm hoping I'm not breaking any NDAs. I hope I don't get my life ruined because of this. But they're filming overseas, and so that's a long flight. During that flight, I have been told that my category has changed about 3 times. Somebody in the season prior, which was actually filming that day, was doing wrestling. And then the other ones, they probably thought were terrible and boring as hell, or somebody else had them. I don't know, but I didn't get any of them either. So they gave me, I want to say something sports.
Classic cars, or sports cars, or something like that. Yeah.
No, they gave me sports. They gave me sports. And of course, I was screwed because I don't play or watch sports because I'm a nerd. And then when I walked to the set, they had changed it to classic cars, which only lucked out for me because that's how my dad put food on the table. Is he would build classic custom cars from the 50s and early 60s or older, chop them, flame them, put a Hemi, put whatever else you wanted into it, and then sell it.
Wow.
And that's how I grew up in the shop. And so I knew a little bit about that. So when they chose me, I couldn't choose that category. So the last 4 days were me trying to learn different categories, trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing, to like, okay, we chose classic cars. Hell yeah, we can do that. My dad did a lot of that. I can remember a little bit. Boom, they choose me, which means I have to choose someone else. It was like sports movies. Fuck, I don't watch sports.
Yeah. I thought you were going to go straight for Brian, because Brian was right next to you. Brian O'Halloran, for those who don't know, who played Dante in Clerks, is literally standing right next to Matthew on the floor. Yeah.
Brian scared me away. First of all, Brian, sweetheart, lovely guy. Backstage, he was so kind, so fun. I don't know if they kept it in the show because I didn't watch any of the episodes, but I say like a quip to him to give him some shit. I don't know if they kept it, but if they didn't, I said, there's Brian. I grew up with Clerks, love Clerks. I should choose him for making me watch Clerks too, though. That sucked. And then I go over.
They didn't put that in. No, they didn't.
Okay. And so, like, Brian never talked to me after that. So I think he probably thought I was serious, but I wasn't. Brian, if you ever watch this, which I'm sure you probably won't, you're a sweetheart. Yeah. And then I chose, but he also had like a bonus thing, which they didn't know that they did at this point. They gave him an additional 10 seconds. Which after watching everyone else, 5 seconds. Yeah. Each question, if you pass, is a minimum of 2 seconds. So if you pass, you automatically take off 2 seconds. And I was like, that means this guy gets an additional 2 passes on me. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try this guy here and try my luck. And I was dumb. There was a point where like I missed Air Bud. Tommy, are you listening to me? Tommy, I missed Air Bud. They showed me a picture of children in a golden retriever, and I was sitting here like a dumbass looking at the kids and their faces, trying to remember the child actors, going like, I don't know, pass. And as I say pass, I look down to the stupid ass dog. And like I don't know, they probably cut it, but I still remember this to this day because they had a mic on me, and I was like, well, I'm gonna get in trouble. I whispered, "Oh, there's a fucking dog," and then
they cut that out.
Yeah. And so the other guy was, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, no bullshit. That's an actual quote, literal thing I said. As I was thinking,
I would have made it, but it's Fox.
Oh yeah, me too. Somehow it feels more charming. As an idiot.
Authentic. Yeah,
it's like he may be dumb, but at least he's nice.
I don't know which is funny. I don't know which is funnier: the fact that you missed Air Bud, or that you realized it at the
I was trying to recognize the actors, and I was like, I don't remember these children, and I panicked because like, oh, a pass is 2 seconds. It's been 2 seconds. Who are these kids? Pass. Oh, there's a fucking dog.
You hung with him pretty well, though. I mean, I will say that.
Yeah, he got to use the wrestler. He one of his categories for sports movie was the wrestler.
I was like,
and you could see me going,
Oh my!
yeah, like, why
course.
couldn't he get that?
I
one?
have
Of course.
nothing, man. I can't have nothing. I even had to tell him I was an event promoter, which I am.
Yeah.
But I had to change wrestler simply because a prior category had wrestler. So like, oh, and get this. I was sitting there and the mics were live, and I'm sure everyone that was listening to us in the production hated me and probably thought I was serious, but we were constantly like fucking with them in here, and like they constantly said you can't say it's rigged because it's not. Legally it can't be because
it's be randomized, right? Yeah,
it has to be, and it is 100%. But we were constantly going like, "It's rigged." So they had to have a conversation with us, and we felt so bad. We were in one corner going like, we were just joking. We don't really.
Yeah.
And then they had to tell everyone, guys, it's real. It's not. And we were just like, we're kidding. We were just being funny. Sorry.
You got selected though because a lot of people would like challenge and then go back to the floor. Like no one was really making any moves.
Oh, dude, I was ready to go home.
Oh,
I was. It was like day 4. No one had selected me or anything like that.
So you
it
were
was
the
in
volunteer
Ireland,
randomizer.
so the food sucked.
Yeah,
and I don't really drink, so
yeah. Right.
So I was like, let's go. I was gonna run it. If I made it, I was gonna go until I went home. I was like, I'm gonna be famous one way or the other. And the worst case scenario happened. I lost immediately.
Lost in the first one. Yeah. I figured you were going to challenge that person, get that one, get the next one, and then go after Brian because he had all that territory, so you can try and beat him and get the time.
I wanted the 5-second bonus before I went after Brian. I wanted to make it fair. That would also have put me in that 20K category. So if I was going to go after him, I think the person behind them had something that I could possibly bullshit my way through, and then I was going to cut back to Brian. Brian had a huge chunk, but if I remember correctly, there was somebody in the center who also had a big chunk. And I was like, screw it. I'm going to get my 5 seconds, go after Brian, go after the big chunk, and I'm not going to leave until I get to go home or somebody gives me $20,000. But I didn't see a fucking dog.
John just said it all because of
I hope someone.
I have never seen that movie, and I never will see that movie.
I swear to God, this weekend, if there's an Airbud sign at the MPX show,
he's gonna go block it on every streaming service it's on.
I thought for sure the Revolver guys, that the Dad World Order guys were gonna hold it, because at one point they had like Palmer Eats Cat shit holding up, and I just walked out going, "What did I do? I didn't do nothing. Just Palmer Eats Cat shit." It's like, Airbud's got to be coming.
Man.
Oh my
God. That would have been a legendary run if you could have pulled that off, because Brian has won like, as of last week, 80 grand so far on the floor. He's just
he needed it.
Yeah, right. So
have you seen Clerks 3?
No.
All right, that one's emotional for our age group. I don't know. That was
very emotional.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me the Iggy, and I was like, you know what? I've had enough loved ones and friends die. I'm not going to go watch the fictional ones too. It was like, I'm good. I don't need those tear jerkers right now.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that backstage. This was filmed.
No problem.
How long ago was that filmed?
Oh man, it was some time ago. They kept giving me I told them to stop giving me the Hitler comb over in the makeup department, and they kept laughing at me and kept giving me the Hitler comb over. I want to say because the short hair is probably 8-9 months ago.
Oh wow, it's been that long.
I think I literally just cut off my ponytail the week prior, leading up to it, to be more respectable. And guys, I'm not kidding. Like in the photos and on the screen, I kept like trying to pull it down into like some shitty 1980s wannabe Grease pompadour, because they literally kept like combing it over, and I already have a giant forehead, and they kept combing it over like an inch long bit of hair. They kept combing over, and I looked like freaking Nazi, and I was like, no.
So so you were there probably. How long was the filming? Like about a week, or?
It takes about 5-6 days to film it, about a business week to film it. And I was there about 3-4 days, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. So once you're eliminated, is like that it? You get to leave?
That's it. They take you to an exit hotel. I mean, you can go and you have to chill out in a separate room, and they got a guy there like checking on you, making sure you're okay. which to me was hilarious because he was, very considerate. And he was trying to make sure his training kicked in. He was making sure everyone was right and not masking any bullshit. But I'm just sitting here happy because I was like, I cannot wait to have American food again. This shit's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah, I get to see my wife. Hell yeah, this is gonna be fantastic.
3
And
days
he's
of
like,
wearing the
Are
same
you
clothes.
okay? Is this
Yeah.
it's gonna be okay? I was like, no, well, they gave us. We had to buy we had to provide our own clothes.
Right.
This is fine. But we had to buy multiple pairs of the same thing so that we could change out.
Yeah,
because they would wash it after one filming and then change it out with the other one.
Because you're wearing the same outfit. At least it's supposed to look like the same outfit the entire time.
Yeah.
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 So, all right. Awesome, man. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on. This is awesome.
Of course.
I know this question has popped a few times on the chat, but what would you say your favorite match you've ever been in has been?
Okay, if you guys can, without ruining the stream, go to YouTube, and you guys on the chat too, go to YouTube, Matthew Palmer versus Green Ant. It's from Beyond Wrestling. They did like a private show for about 20 people who paid. It was a tournament. I think we're fighting around 1:30 in the morning at this point, and we have a show the next day.
Oh, I see
Yep,
it.
watch that. Go ahead and watch it. Take your time. That's my favorite match.
Oh my god, how long is it? Tell me.
It's like 2 minutes, dude. I'm not kidding.
Watch it. Go ahead. It's all right.
Share it.
Yeah, let me hold on. Let me share it. Hold on. Window. Okay, can you guys see it?
Yeah, we can now. Here we go.
All right.
Look at this scrappy kid right here. Look at him. Look at him go. Just a boy, not yet a man. His concave chest still there.
And where was this at?
So this is in New England somewhere. So right before then, I lean over to Masada, who is there, and I go, "Watch this shit." And he goes, "Fuck yeah!" And he leans like you can see him elbow somebody because his boy's about to show up. And we already wrestled like 3 or 4 matches each at this point anyway. And so, like I said, it's 1:30 in the morning, and we're like, "Let's fucking do it."
I'm a little nervous because this is only 2 minutes.
I can't wait.
I'm almost synced up on my phone. This is actually kind of funny.
Oh.
Wait, did y'all get points in this for winning? Is that the +4, +2?
No, so they did records for the company itself.
Oh,
okay.
But I think for that one, I think that was the tournament or something.
What it looks like,
I
yeah.
don't remember.
Tournament is something. I think it was in the graphic. Yeah. Beyond Wrestling. Oh my gosh.
So what had happened is we had these tournaments all day, guys. I'm telling you, it's all fucking day.
The
Look at this
replay.
replay.
Boom!
Look at that, beautiful.
Like Shelton and Sean from Monday Night Raw.
Your face.
This is me doing my best William Regal impression.
Fair enough.
Masada looked me dead in the eyes and told me to go fuck myself because he got so excited thinking that we were going to go nuts. What happened was we were wrestling all day and it was like 1:30 and Green Ant, which I don't know if I can share who that person was, but that person basically had their girlfriend there who got an injury while wrestling their match. And he basically was like, I gotta, you know what I mean? And to the promoter, and the promoter goes, whatever you guys can do, and just kind of walked away. And so I just looked at him going, schoolboy? And he goes, super kick? And I go, cool. And that was the fucking story. And I was just looking at the clock going, it's 1:30. We got to do this again tomorrow. I don't give a shit. I don't even think I'm getting paid, which, by the way, I did not.
Oh,
damn. So yeah, that was that's my favorite match to show people because like they'll pull out the scaffold or they'll pull out ACH and they'll do intricate transitions and stuff like that. And I go, to me, that's fun because Look, we're all laughing about it. We're all
Yeah.
having a good time.
The reaction
How
of the
many-
crowd, like, it
yeah.
was just fantastic. Yeah.
How
so-
many of those epic 38 kickout matches do you see every week on one show? Like, do you see a guy laughing his ass off while getting super kicked? So the next day, by the way, I had to wrestle a guy named Johnny Cockstrong. And the finish of the match, his finisher is he puts my head in his trunks and does a pile driver.
Oh,
guess
I
for my
remember
head.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the finish was he does that, but I do a backdrop. And we do the Bret Hart, Davey Boy Smith SummerSlam pin where like the sunset where you scoop in, except rather than my arms going around his calves and leaning forward, his underwear is over my eyes, and I'm just leaning forward with his underwear on his head, and he's got his he's even like tidy whities up in the air as he's getting pinned. So that would be my other favorite match, by the way. But there's no recorded evidence of that one.
Okay.
Probably first.
The movie about your life is gonna be
Yes.
fantastic, and I cannot. It's
It's gonna be something. I told Callahan a little bit about it, and he goes, "That's a good one." And I go,
Yeah.
"Okay, okay."
Favorite Bret Hart match?
Bret and Austin, WrestleMania 13.
Mm-hmm.
To me, probably the most influential match of all time. That nobody would really understand why.
Yeah.
The double turn,
You know
nobody
what I mean?
really saw. Yeah, I mean,
Well, it's just like there's no $1 billion backing it. It's not Cena and Rock for a year. It's not Hogan doing something. It's guys who are not at the top of the card, who do not nail this, do not start the Attitude Era or any of it.
True.
And it
Very
can
true.
only happen with this guy who's already disgruntled and on his way out, who is respectfully doing it for somebody because of their love of the craft, which personally I relate to, and another guy who got screwed over and just wants to do what they do for the love of the craft, getting their opportunity. It's like it's the perfect story of real life and fiction done to me. And like it's next to say like one of those technical masterpieces like an Angle Benoit or something like that. To me, it's everything. It's everything that you need. Like I understand maybe a Michaels and Undertaker might be more fun, but like if that match doesn't happen, who cares? You don't get to see Michaels and Undertaker. If Austin and Bret don't happen, we're still doing Duke the Dumpster Drozy or Psycho Sid and Undertaker with a Phantom mask on. You know what I mean? Like we don't get this. Shawn Michaels has got no one to wrestle except Bret Hart, who's going to leave anyway.
Right.
And so
that's very true. In hindsight, that spawned the Attitude Era.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, hell, the U.S. versus Canada bit too that ran from that, you know, and San Antonio was like ground zero for like a few of those matches as well. So you know that was amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, again, MPX is this Saturday.
This Saturday and every Saturday forever.
Yeah. That seems to be a trend in the Dallas area. A lot of weekly shows, right? A lot of promoters run weekly.
A lot of them. Everyone, but me, only me.
Yeah. And then, of course, Wrestling Revolver traveling. The next show for them is in Iowa in a couple of weeks on the 22nd. So
that's right. Yep.
And then you can watch the rest of the season on the floor, even though Matt's not going to be on it the rest of the season, unfortunately.
Yep.
But, you know,
fun show. Still love it. Still love it.
You
Just
can,
disgruntled about a dog.
You can go back and watch the episode where he misses Airbud. You know.
Don't. It's not. I'll tell you who wins right now. I don't give.
No. Don't spoil it for me.
I actually don't know. I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want you to get in trouble anyway.
They were smart enough not to tell me. He's like, this guy looks pretty dumb. Let's not give him.
But I may go back and watch it and just see if I can see you mouthing, "There's a fucking dog," even though they don't.
They had to cut it. If they don't have me giving Brian shit, which I thought was playful. Once again, Brian, totally sorry. You're a lovely guy. Then they're totally not going to have me just like head and hands, like, oh, I didn't see the fucking dog. Just like, I don't know if they even showed beforehand. They were describing what he had done for a living, which was like something sports related. I immediately just put my head on the podium. And they're like, are you okay, Matt? I was like, yep.
Yeah, as soon as he said it, you were just like, "Oh my god!" Like I saw the reaction, like, "God, I had to pick this guy. He's like an expert." You know. So.
Yeah, that was just me. It's like I should have told fucking Brian. I should have told Brian. It's 5 seconds.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Matt. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so
best
much,
of luck to you as an event promoter and as a wrestler. Please definitely let us know when you guys are coming down to San Antonio. We'd love to have you on. Just talk about whatever events coming down here. So. Yeah.
Will do. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Night.
Awesome. Wow. So many great stories. That was amazing. That was amazing.
When I typed the match in and I saw the time code, I was like, what did he do with this?
Dare I say the most epic match we've ever shown on this podcast for sure. So
you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it, man. It's the
best one for sure. Appreciate you, Matt. Thank you so much. And again, I think it's like the third episode of the season of the floor. If you want to go back and look it up on Fox, where it's somewhere pretty beginning of the show too. So man,
I'm gonna be laughing about this. That whole and the next time I see anything Airbud related, I'm gonna fall out laughing, and I can't explain why.
The category was sports movies, by the way.
But JC, was it like a movie poster, or what was the picture?
So the picture was like two kids lining up for the tip off of a game, and you barely see the dog at the bottom.
That's what it was like.
Like it's like I didn't. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know what movie it was because I couldn't see it, and then it pops up. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, there is the fucking dog right there, right?" You know. So, but it's sports films. I was the only other was like, "Remember the Titans?" Hoosiers, you know, all those. And that was one of the ones he missed. I think he missed one more, but he was getting them, but he couldn't keep pace. This guy was like, and of course the other guy gets the wrestler. I was like, God, you know, like, why couldn't Matt get that? So you know, but
and then the old ACW stores, I loved that.
Yeah, I loved it. It takes me back. So.
Holy crap! There have been a lot of.
Sorry, remembers the person, right? So. Well, thank you again, Matthew, Centerfold, Monster Hunter, Anarchist, whatever you want to call him, Matthew Palmer for now.
When I find that DVD, I'm gonna take a picture of it and post it so you guys can see it.
Tag him on Facebook. He sees it too, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because he said to me to my face like this was like the dumbest picture I could take, and that's what I was going for. But no, knowing he's a theater kid just explains so much for me. I understand like everything about him.
And to know the creativity behind that whole sequence of storyline in AECW is all him. It's amazing. Dude's got a great mind. So
yeah.
And you know, and I should have told him he was out there, but like Robert Evans, speaking of him, because you were saying he was such a huge influence, that guy never got. He never gets the respect or the. You know, his flowers for his creativity, all the stuff he did.
And that's a producer too for other
he was in WWE for a while, right? Like behind
WWE, he was an ROH pre
with the beard and everything.
Yeah, because like he was on screen, but he was more backstage, from what I understand. So, I think a lot of guys didn't get enough credit, and Evans definitely one of them. But also, of course, his first trainer was Lance Hoyt. Of course, it was.
What can you do?
Oh, good. Well, damn it, I gotta give credit for Lance for doing something good.
Hey, he's trained some great wrestlers, man. So you know, yeah.
I know, but I don't like giving him credit for stuff.
All right. Well, AEW Revolution. I don't know if you guys got to see it. I was busy with the softball tournament all weekend, so I haven't gotten to check it out.
I saw clips,
parts of it, and
just some kind of highlights, at least on the results side of things. I think the only title that changed hands was Kenny Omega taking the international championship off of Takeshita. We got, from what I've heard, Ospreay Fletcher was crazy.
Amazing. That's what I've heard.
I've heard Tony Storm and Mariah May just really stole the show. False Count Anywhere.
I heard a lot of people say they should have main evented with that or the cage match, either one.
Let's see. Moxley still champion after Christian Cage does his cash in and ends up tapping out to Mox. So
I heard either tap out or it was like a referee.
He passed out. It was a technical submission. Yeah, he passed out submission hold. So wild event. I'm definitely going to try and go back and watch it. I am a bit, and nothing against Swerve. I really thought the way they were pushing Ricochet, I thought he would beat Swerve, but Swerve is now the number one contender for the AEW World Championship. Is going to challenge Mox next. So
I thought about that too, but I think also this is going to help fuel this heel turn of Ricochet's to keep making him angry. I thought the same thing, but I think it's just because they're trying to keep pushing him like as being pissed and like still losing.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm viewing it.
And I've seen some other stuff and an idea that I really like because I know a lot of people have kind of lost faith in the Death Riders story, and there was some stuff a couple weeks back that like originally it was Moxley and RJ City that kind of had a lot of the idea at the beginning, but then at some point, and this was an interview I think before the show that Tony Khan did, that he had been more involved in all the booking and more directly. And some people have said he kind of took over that storyline, and its original idea to get the younger guys over started, and then they kind of fell to the wayside. Darby went to go, get ready to climb Everest or whatever. And so, with all due respect to Cope, who, is a legend and I love him, that's not the story that this was supposed to be. So I would be okay with Swerve beating him at the next show in April and then leading to All In with Swerve and Hangman one more time as the big match at All In Texas, because those two will kill each other and put on a classic.
For sure.
So
yeah,
I'm okay with that. We'll see what happens. Because I think after the show, they showed on Dynamite tonight that Cope basically got mad that he wasn't involved. He didn't get pinned or whatever. And he told Swerve, either I'm going to be champion before your match, or if you win the title, I'm going to go after you afterwards. So I don't know, but we'll see.
See where they go from there. Yeah. So, Bernsey, you said you watched it. If you feel free to give us your WrestleCast rating on it, 0 to 5. 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December. Just remember. As far as our pick results, I went 7-2, and Mike and Tommy, y'all went 8-1. I realized I hadn't done that right on the agenda there, but yeah. So that was one.
What's the one I got wrong?
Mike. I know the one Mike got wrong is he picked Brody King over Okada. And then Tommy, you picked, where is it?
I think I'm 7-2 with you, because didn't I pick Ricochet also?
Oh yeah, you did. I calculated that wrong.
So I think Tommy's 8-1. I think I'm 7-2 with you.
Yeah. Which one did I?
No,
hang on. Let me do this again.
Yeah, what did I get wrong? Because I picked Hangman, and Hangman won.
Here? Let me see. Strickland won.
Did you pick Osprey?
Yeah.
But you picked Ricochet too, didn't you, or no?
Did I pick Takeshita?
You picked Takeshita.
That's what it
Yeah,
was.
that's what it was. You picked Takeshita. There we go.
I picked Takeshita.
Right.
That's right.
Mike was the only one to pick Omega out of that. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I've heard it was a killer show, all up.
Yeah.
I know some people, are not excited about the way the main event went in that storyline, but everything else I heard was really good.
And here's my thing with the main event. I also feel like I want to go back and watch it, because I want to feel like, was the main event bad, or was it the fact that it followed Tony Storm, Mariah May, Omega Takeshita, and Ospreay Fletcher? Yeah. Because after that, it's kind of hard to be good.
Yeah, I think Omega Takeshita was a little bit earlier. I think the cage match was right before them.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but when you have those 3 matches in a row, anything else might be.
Oh, I mean, Ospreay Swerve would be cool too as a main event. Mm-hmm. So
I think people were mad because it was the final 4 matches in order were Storm in May, Omega Takeshita, the steel cage match, and then it was the championship, and then I think people were excited to potentially see Christian Cage win it with the cash in, and they feel like maybe they kind of wasted a cash in with that.
It really. I want to know what the original idea was for Christian winning that, because I remember when it happened, we were kind of like, "What?" And then he's Christian. He did amazing with his story and character with it. So we're like, okay. And then the death. So it feels like there's been some not cohesion in their storytelling and what they're trying to do. So it'll be interesting to see if they can kind of get it back on a straight path. And it looks like they have the ability to do that with Swerve as the number 1 contender. So.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like a lot of AEW storylines that don't seem to resolve well, by the time you get to a pay-per-view, they start to correct course.
Yeah, and they can. And I think that was another thing people were pissed off in the main event. They, for the 5th time, did is Wheeler Yuta not on the same page as the Death? No, he's on the same page. People were like, come on, we fool me once, shame on you. You're not fooling me 17 more times. Come on.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move into what is happening this Friday. TNA Sacrifice, TNA Plus event, and it's taking place in El Paso, guys.
Nice.
Pretty awesome. And this is honestly a pretty nice card, actually. So, I don't know if we want to make picks on this. We can on a couple matches if you guys want, or we can just kind of talk through them.
It's TNA.
Yeah,
What's the point? I'm kidding.
Rascals and Ace Austin versus Wesley, Tyson DuPont, and Tyreek Igwe. I think that's how you say it.
That's
So,
basically a NXT versus TNA.
Yeah, it's a TNA versus NXT.
Real quick. Speaking of Ice Austin, up there's going to be a Chris Bay benefit show, and if you saw, there's going to be wrestlers from WWE, AEW, TNA, and ROH on the show.
Yeah, it looks like the only WWE one is Killer Cross, right? Or is there another one?
Yeah, the Cross.
No, I think it's awesome they're letting them do that.
I mean, yeah, the reason I bring it up is because, just shout out to everyone stepping up because like he put a post about it, like he says everyone in this show has a special place in my heart and everything like that. And shout out to Chris Bay. Hope he's getting better. Hope he's taking his recovery carefully, safely. Wrestling will be here when you get back and when you're safe, when you're ready. Don't rush anything. We want to see you healthy. You're amazing in the ring, but you're an even better human being. Please take care of yourself. But like, I just think it's great to see all these guys coming together for one dude who in meeting him one time and having like maybe a 3-minute conversation with him is an amazing human being. So shouts out to everyone on the show and to the companies putting aside their egos so the show can go on. So
no, that's
sorry.
You don't see that very often nowadays, So Tessa Blanchard versus Lei Ying Lee. Then there's Mustafa Ali versus Mike Santana.
No, that should be nice.
Street fight, Mance Warner versus Sammy Callahan, who was brought up today too. I mean, Sammy. Oh God,
that should be violent.
Yeah, right.
What? Who? Sammy and Mance? Come on, Mike. I'm sure this street fight's going to be the least bloodiest street
handshake, yes, wrestling.
Yeah,
let's go to wrestling.
Yeah, it's only a good show, son. It's only a good show. Which somehow them just saying that will cause Sammy Callahan to leave.
From street fight, we move into steel cage in a 10-man tag team match. Joe Hendry, Matt Hardy, Elijah, Leon Slater, and Nick Nemeth versus the System and the Colognes. Wow, that's a lot of bodies in a cage. I wonder how they're going to handle this one. So, from
RCW and United 210 did it, so
yeah,
it's possible.
That's true.
X Division Championship defended in a ladder match. Moose versus Jeff Hardy. God, I really hope this would have been Ultimate X, but that's okay. Maybe they're saving it for something. So, can you imagine Moose trying to climb up the X scaffold to get the X?
I can't snap it.
So, and then finally,
3 times.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick. Did y'all see the Moose Oba Femi match from last night?
I
got to Meat Planet certified, whatever you want to call it. Big Biggie approved. Damn, it was a hell of a match. Slapping meat,
just 2 mountains.
And Booker did his no bread, no water,
no water. Yes.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match.
And finally, Knockouts Championship: Masa Slamovich versus Cora Jade. And challenger to a TNA championship.
I want to share this real quick, and I hope she doesn't mind because it's not really like sharing anything personal. But I saw a post the other day about Cora Jade saying how she liked Dean Ambrose was a big influence to her. She uses the underhook or the double hook DDT, whatever, the dirty deeds basically. Yeah. And I sent it to Callie, and I was like, "Oh, I see your first feud when you go to WWE." And she was like, "Oh no," she's like, "I like Cora, like she, I look up to her." And I was like, well, that hasn't worked out well for other, women from South Texas recently. And she was like, oh yeah. She's like, well, me and Roxy will team first, then I'll turn on her. I was like, okay, actually, that seems about on par.
That's on brand. That's
calling your shot right there. Yeah, for sure. So
you think they would do something crazy like let Cora beat Masha? Surely not.
I'm gonna say no because I feel like they're building towards Tessa beating Masha, which I fiercely disagree with. But
well, that's another story. But yes, you're right.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is just gonna be kind of Cora's trial by fire because I really don't know if she's been in the ring with anyone like Masha. Because then again, I don't know there are many wrestlers like Masha.
Not in NXT anyway. So yeah, I mean.
So I feel like this is really a trial by fire, and Masha's gonna put it through the ringer. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Masha Slamovich, the only chick who I think could, if she can't match her strength, could match Jordan Grayson intensity. So,
TNA Sacrifice this Friday, March 14th at 7 p.m. Central Time. from the El Paso County Coliseum in El Paso, Texas, exclusively on TNA Plus. When you think of TNA Sacrifice, I'm sure a lot of people's mind goes straight to the Steiner Math promo. And he recently did an interview where he was talking about that.
Chris Van Fleet.
Chris Van Fleet, talking about it. He just kind of threw it together on the fly, and it's just amazed at how long it's been around, and people still talk about it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Everyone knows I'm a writer. Everyone knows that. He said he came with that on the fly.
In about
he said about an hour ahead of time. Yeah.
But here's my point. I could craft a story for a year, and I still don't think it will be half as impactful as that damn promo.
Well, he's a Michigan university. He went to a higher education, like you mentioned. Okay, honestly, that interview was weird because, it's like calm Scott Steiner.
Yeah.
And, I've seen clips. I haven't watched the whole thing through, but I've seen a whole bunch of clips out of it. And he's, talking about the things he brought over from, or that he invented that all the Mexican luchadors and Japanese wrestlers stole from him, he says. But it's just weird because he's talking calmly and it's not the Scott Steiner you expected to see in the interview.
When I think it was RCW was co-promoted with some kind of event. I got to meet him, and like you said, a calm Scott Steiner was almost taking me aback. I was like, he'd just be like that all the time. Like, hey, how you doing? He's like, no, hey, how you doing? It's like, huh, cool. So
I never knew he's the one that invented the 450. He was the first one to do it back in the 80s.
Yeah, and there's an old video of it too.
Video of it too.
I thought it was Too Cold Scorpio.
But but like you said, because whoever he was doing it on was their star, that's why he lands on his feet first and then just kind of falls forward.
Yeah, he has to land on his feet to protect him. So yeah.
Jason's comment.
Oh Jesus Christ!
This stuff must be out of his system.
Wow.
No comment.
Yeah.
And I'm with Jason also. Masha for the win for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But but I think a lot of these guys are just calming down now. It's like, okay, we made our mark in the business. We can stop doing this so much now.
Yeah.
Although speaking of the Open Family thing, I did see the clip of the Undertaker kind of giving him the stamp of approval, which
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, how much higher of praise can you get than Undertaker saying,
Not much. Yeah.
Not much at all.
So. If you guys saw that documentary on Damian Priest, the Undertaker is meeting him and his family, and after he walks off, Priest goes, "Did you record that? Please tell me you recorded that."
Looking forward to. Oh,
Tommy, are you there? Hello? Can you hear us? We can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Your audio cut out.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear us now? Yeah, barely.
Okay.
I think you're delayed.
It's been doing that lately. My
Oh, now you froze.
If you need to pop out, come back in. Go for it, Tommy. So,
see.
Wait, you there?
Am I? Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yes. Can you see me?
We can see you. The video's a little delayed, but I'm sure it'll catch up. So
let me turn it off and turn it back on.
Okay.
No, my USB has been disconnecting randomly recently, and I don't know why.
No, that's no fun.
Weird. Okay.
I don't know if I should get a new one or.
Well, it's time to move into our 1 minute warning segment here. Mike, do you have something this week?
Yes.
All right. Ready? Go ahead, sir.
All right, guys. Well, not this weekend, because there's some shows this weekend. The MPX, there's a show down in Corpus. There's actually a show here in town at the Luchador Bar that Raina Pink's going to be in, but a lot of stuff. But the following weekend is a triple shot weekend, and next week we're going to talk all about it. Next week we should be having someone on from those shows again. We'll get more info out on that in the coming week. But yeah, just again, looking forward to the local wrestling coming up here. It's a United 210 show Friday, Hybrid Road to Hybrid Mania on Saturday, and then RCW's at the Von Erich Ranch on Sunday. Tommy will be there. Jason, I think. I don't know if you're going to be there, Jason. I'm not going to be there. Unfortunately, it is sold out now, and I wasn't sure from the beginning. But a lot of stuff coming up to look forward to. So, guys, go, as we always say, support your local indie wrestling. If you have a chance to go up to MPX or any of the shows in Dallas or Corpus or other places, check them out as well. So.
Nice. All right. Tommy, you got something this week?
Yeah, something real quick.
All right. Go for it, sir.
Kind of similar to like what Mike said about the independent wrestling in town. Just go to these shows, man. Like we're talking about, the Palmer just brought back. Like I legitimately forgot the time he said, "What's my name?" because I thought he was messing with me. I didn't realize he was concussed in the moment.
Yeah.
But definitely go to your indie shows, man. You never know who you're going to see. And I thought this, who you're going to see on TV this week and then next week, in person this week and on TV next week. That's kind of how it happened with Raquel Rodriguez. Like she was at RCW like almost the week to the day before, and then she was on Monday Night Raw. So you never know what's going to happen. Go and watch the stars that get to meet them, shake their hand, and cheer for them now. You never know where they'll be tomorrow. Me, Mike, JC know probably about 5 people who, if they get signed by the end of this month, will not be a shock to us at all. So
Yeah.
So yeah, just go to support your local indie wrestling, man. It's great fun.
And we will be throwing those interviews back up when they do, like we did with the Maddie/Red One.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we were gonna milk our celebrity with them for all it's worth.
Exactly.
For sure.
100%.
All right. For mine, hold on. Let me adjust this thing here. I need to share something here that was pretty an amazing feat, and this actually does involve a member of Mike's family because I was at this tournament. I didn't see this. I saw a couple of shots like this, but let me just say, first of all, Mike, I hadn't seen your older sister in a long time, so it was great to talk to her. So,
Yeah.
yeah. This is Mike's niece.
Hey, yo.
Going yard. It's like that kid from the Little League World Series. I just hit dingers.
So, for those wanting a little bit of
Nice.
context on this past weekend in Portland, Texas, near Corpus, was a big 2-day tournament. Hence why I was down there for the Lady Sharks. We were there. Won a bracket game, but there was a big competition, a lot of competition. This is a 10U softball tournament here, and Mike's niece. Can I say her name? I don't know if I can say her.
Just keep them nice.
Yeah. Is a 9-year-old on a 10-year-old's team, starting shortstop, just an amazing athlete. And there were a lot of home runs at this tournament over the fence, but none of them on that field. That was one of the bigger fields at that complex, 190 feet down the left field line, which was just impressive.
And she also had 2 inside the park home runs in that tournament too.
She's freaking fast. She better.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, seeing her play is amazing.
Now, I was gonna say, I was like, it's like it looked like a home run for me. Like, why is she running so fast? But
No, that was her job.
No, she just
Yeah. But her team lost. It was a double elimination tournament. Her
Yeah.
team lost their first bracket game.
Oh,
They made a run of like 5 straight games. That was the losers' final game. They won that one 17-0 or something to get to the championship before they ended up losing 4-0 to a really tough Hurricanes team. But the competition was amazing. It's just I will say this as someone who just celebrated his 44th birthday this past Friday, and for somebody who 7 years ago was just trying to get out of the hospital dealing with Crohn's. 7 years ago, my birthday, I was still in the hospital after a blood transfusion. But coaching is one of the greatest joys in life, and to see the level of talent these girls put their work in, the team I'm coaching, they're all amazing. They're doing great things, and just not be down with this. This was really cool to see. I saw a couple of home runs in person. One of which that I, as a coach, she missed home plate, and I'll be honest with you, it was against us, but she missed home plate, so peeled it, and she was out because she didn't touch home. So, but I let her keep the softball anyway because feats at this age are something you just never ever forget. So,
I mean, I get as the coach the call. Why would you not let her keep the softball?
yeah, because they hit the ball over the fence, and when you're on defense, you provide the softball for your pitcher to use.
Oh, okay.
They hit it out. It's like, I immediately told the coach, hey, she can have it. Like, they're 9, 10, 11 years old. she can have it.
Yeah.
But it was pretty amazing to see. Mike, our alumni softball tournament is in about 2.5 weeks. You got to go replicate that feat out there.
I've got a knee injury like Kevin Nash. I'm in the wheelchair. I've got the little blanket covering.
Yeah, but
I've got a cast on it, full leg. It's
just
crazy.
DH. If you hit it out, you just walk around the bases, take your time.
If you do DDP yoga from now until then, you should be okay.
So,
maybe if he comes to my house and gives me like the Lex Luger treatment.
You never know.
So it was a pretty amazing experience, and softball season is about to really kick up full gear in spring for us. So it's pretty awesome. So, all right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us on this week's episode of the WrestleCast. Special thank you to Matthew Palmer for joining us. That was so entertaining. I got to go back and watch and just hear all the stories.
That was fun. Yeah,
really good. Yeah. Once again, TNA Sacrifice, Friday, March 14th, this Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time on TNA Plus, taking place in El Paso, Texas. Next week, we will recap everything that happens at Sacrifice and preview, as Mike mentioned, a triple shot of shows, United 210 Hybrid Experience and RCW in San Antonio. Talking all about that. Have a few interviews as well. We'll see. So you never know who's going to show up, right? So, yep. Appreciate everybody taking the time to join us, to type in the chat with us. Just amazing stuff. So this has been great. So over here we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. As always, heels and baby faces. Remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are
fake.
Boom.
See you next week.
Adios, Gunther. Na 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 na.